Welcome to Lighting for Profits with Ryan Lee, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing, we discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? I'm so excited you're here. My name's Ryan Lee. I'm the host of Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio, and it keeps getting better and better every single week. Guys, I am so pumped. I am so pumped because this is like a dream come true for me, and I get to have a new guest on every single week. Today is no different. I'm going to be joined by the owner, the CEO of Gardenlight LED in Tampa, Florida. Built in the USA. Some of the greatest products out there. I'm a super fan, if you can call it that, a super fan of Gardenlight. So I'm excited to have him on. And before we jump into that, I will tell you this. Gardenlight was one of the first companies I actually used. When I was getting into the lighting business, I thought it would be a good idea to start with my own house just in case I screwed something up. Rather burn down my own house than somebody else's, right? So I got into it. And I decided, this Gardenlight stuff looks pretty good. Let me try it on my own house. And so it was actually my personal house that I did with Gardenlight. And I've been a fan ever since. That was almost 15 years ago. So they've progressed a lot as a business, and things have changed a lot over the years from halogen to LED. And anyway, I'm super excited to have Mr. Reto Mueller on as my guest today. And you know what? He doesn't really like talking about himself that much. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna have to do a really good job weaving in and out, because he's big on business and helping people, but he does not want to talk about himself. So the pressure's on for me to do my job today. But guys, over the last couple of weeks, I've been promising you a new segment, and I meant to do it 2 weeks ago. And then I went out of town or something, and then family vacation, or I don't even remember, but I had excuses and I didn't do it until now. So I'm introducing a new segment. It's called Business Prank Calls. Business prank calls. And, my show so far has been like really educational, and it's, really informative, all that stuff, which that's just the kind of guy I am. I'm big on business. I want you to succeed. I want you to make profits. I want you to make the sale, do the marketing, learn these things. Right. But I decided, I need to up the entertainment value. I needed to really make it a little bit more entertaining. So I did something. And here's the thing. When I worked at my former company, Majestic Outdoor Lighting, we always like to kind of let loose every once in a while and prank each other. So if you guys have seen the show Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and if you haven't, just go watch it. Okay, it's a great show. And there's a scene in there where Cameron, who is Ferris Bueller's best friend, does a prank call to the school, to the principal, and he pretends to be Mr. Peterson. And so I decided, I'm going to pretend to be Mr. Peterson to Majestic Outdoor Lighting. So I'm going to call them now. Let me get her dialed up here. I call him, and let's see how this goes. Clearly, I'm not organized. It's a new bit. So let me call her now. Let's see what happens with Mr. Peterson.
Majestic Outdoor Lighting. This is Ashley. May I help you?
This is Mr. Peterson. Excuse me, this is Mr. Peterson. I'm calling because I've got some lights out.
Okay. Are you a customer of ours, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, ma'am, I am. And I'm getting kind of frustrated because I've had lights out for several weeks now, and I need someone here to fix them.
Okay. What's your first name?
Mr. Peterson.
Okay. What is your first name, Mr. Peterson?
Call me sir.
Sir, what is your first name?
Mr. George Peterson. I'm getting frustrated because I was supposed to have some techs out here to fix these lights, and it's just not happening.
Okay, well, I haven't received a phone call from you, and I'm not pulling you up in our system.
Who's the owner of the company out there?
Justin Lee.
Justin Lee, that's right. I think I met the fella. And pardon my French, but he's an asshole.
Sir, if you would like his phone number, I can give you his phone number.
Listen, here's what I'd like to do. I got the lighting from Majestic Lightning, and I got the LED lights. They're supposed to last forever. That's what they told me. And now I'm getting frustrated because no one's been out here to fix these lights.
Sir, I'm not pulling you up in our system.
I'm not sure why that is.
When did we install your light?
About 9-10 months ago.
Okay, well, I'm not pulling you up in our system. What is your address?
3414 Beverly. And now I'm getting frustrated. Remember who you're dealing with? It's Mr. Peterson.
And what was your first name, Mr. Peterson?
George Peterson. Not listen to me. I don't have all day to bother you, so I'll make this short and sweet. I want the owner of that company in front of my house tomorrow at noon.
I'm sorry, so that's not going to be possible. Can I get your phone number and I can have him give you a call?
That's not going to be possible, damn it. I'm starting to get frustrated.
And you said your address was 3414. What was the street name?
3414 Beverly.
Bentley?
Beverly. 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 You heard of Highland Park? That's where I live. I'm going to expect him in front of my house tomorrow at noon. If he's not there, there's going to be some real problems going on.
Can I have your phone number, sir?
You should have it in your system there.
I can't pull you up in my system, so I can't find your phone number.
I'm done with this conversation. I'll look forward to seeing him tomorrow at noon. You have a good day now.
I will not be there tomorrow at noon if I cannot get your information.
That's fine. You should have it in the system. We'll see him tomorrow at noon.
I can't pull you up in the system.
You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So guys, here's what I did. Right before I made that call, I went and Googled Mr. Peterson, Ferris Bueller, and I found that scene, and I was able to tie in some direct lines from that movie. And so if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because I was thinking at some point, if she had ever seen Ferris Bueller, that she might be like, wait a minute, like this is all sounding too familiar. But by the way, Ashley, she handled it like a pro. I mean, it was kind of a good test, she answered the phone within one ring. That was pretty cool, because, no one knew this was happening. Not even my brother. No one knew this was happening. I wanted to get him like totally just blindsided and everything. And she handled it well. I mean, you got a guy that's cussing her out on the phone and everything else. I thought she did well. What do you think? I think she did well. So if you haven't seen it, go Google it, watch the clip, and see how many lines I was actually able to tie in. Call me sir, and some of these other lines that I got just literally like from listening to it right before it. So that was an absolute blast. Now listen, if you want me to prank call your company, shoot me an email to support@ryanleecoaching.com. It's support@ryanleecoaching.com. I will prank call your business for you. We'll put it here. We'll have some fun, and we'll test out your business. It's like Secret Shopper, right? But we're pranking them at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you to Majestic Outdoor Lighting. Thank you to Ashley for putting up with my behavior. And I can't promise that it's not going to happen again. So
call me sir.
All right, guys. I think I may have mentioned this, but I'm excited to say that Lighting for Profits is now on all the podcast networks. So Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, all the cool ones where all the cool kids are hanging out. So if you guys miss a live episode here on Turfs Up Radio or on Facebook, YouTube, go and download it and subscribe, because if you subscribe, you get access to the podcast like right away. You don't have to wait the extra 24 hours, everything else. So go subscribe. That way you don't miss out on that episode. And if you're looking for additional ways to add value to your business, but you're not quite ready to spend the money, which shame on you, I've got a free Facebook group, Landscape Lighting Mastermind, my YouTube channel, Landscape Lighting Secrets. And of course, I've got a monthly Lighting for Profits webinar that I do every month with Ryan Jaso. And I don't know another way to tell you to get an invite to it, but just shoot me an email, support@ryanleecoaching.com. I'll be sure to send you a link. It's a free webinar, but you do need to register. So some cool things that you want to take advantage. And of course, I've got my coaching program, Landscape Lighting Secrets, and I'm in the Landscape Lighting Secrets studio. So, make sure to check that out. If you want to download a free case study, check out some testimonials, and even schedule a free strategy session with me, That's right. A free strategy session where I promise you'll walk away with some golden nuggets, 2 or 3 things that you can work on your business right away that are going to, I'm guaranteed you're going to increase your profits, because that's what we talk about the whole time. And then I'll make you an offer to join the program. If you want to join, great. If not, then I might harass you a little bit, but beyond that, you'll be fine. So guys, I told you I've got coming up here in a few minutes, I got joining me, Reto Mueller. He's the CEO of Gardenlight. And, one thing I'm going to talk to him about is education. And I know for me, education has always been something that's important to me. I did the formal education route. I got my marketing degree. I got my MBA. But the thing about that, when I was going through that, it was really, it wasn't because I wanted to do it. It was because the world and family and friends, they kind of told me like, that's what you're supposed to do. I thought I was going to go to school and land this dream job, get a signing bonus and a Ferrari and all this stuff. And that just didn't happen. Okay. My signing bonus was 0. And I got a marketing job for like $30,000 a year. I was like, thank you. This is cool. I love education. So I kind of had a bad, I don't know. I didn't love education at the time. It was forced upon me. Right. But later, and then I went and got my MBA, and it was kind of the same thing. I was like, okay, I'm doing this because someone told me I'm supposed to, not because I want to do it. But I'll tell you this, after starting my business, I learned so much. Okay. And I am grateful for my education. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff in school that you're not going to just learn from YouTube and stuff like that. But I tell you this, I learned so much from reading books. I don't like to read, I like to listen, but listen to books. I bought courses, surround myself with mentors, hired coaches. And there's so much value in education and helping yourself out. This last weekend, I'm not a big golfer or don't watch a lot of golf, but this last weekend, Stuart Sink, he's a golfer apparently. He won his second golf tournament of the season. Okay. He won one in the fall and then one just now. The last time he had won a golf tournament was in 2009. So can you imagine, this guy's gone over 10 years without winning a golf tournament, but he's still in it, right? So how do you go 11 years without a win? That's a whole nother topic. But what I want to talk about is the golfer's inner circle. They have coaches, they have putting coaches, driving coaches, business coaches, they have mental coaches, they have all these people around them, because they're tremendous athletes. They know how to play golf. Obviously, they're skilled and everything else. But why do they have this? So this guy had his son, his 24-year-old son. Stuart Sink is 47. He's got his 24-year-old son as his caddy. And I'm wondering, what the heck is this 24-year-old kid doing helping him out? But the thing is, he would bounce ideas off of him. So he'd be like, hey, what if I use this club? What about this distance? Everything else. And it was just nice to have someone in his corner. So what I want to do is I want to hopefully inspire you to go get yourself a coach. Now, obviously, I'd love it if it were me, but if it's not, go get yourself a coach, because you need someone to bounce ideas off of. Okay. Even if it is a 24-year-old son of yours, right? You need somebody so that you don't feel alone. You need someone to help make sure they're holding you accountable and helping you progress to that next level. So we're gonna pick Reto's brain a little bit when he's on as well. But this kid was truly helping his dad. It was kind of impressive because he was really helping him, and it wasn't necessarily that his son was telling him what to do, but Stuart would ask him what he thought of a shot or scenario, and that was super helpful. So in business, we need to do the same thing. Our ego tells us that we don't need help, okay, that we're good, whatever else, but we need to dismiss that, and we need to do everything we can to get to the next level. Before you know it, you're going to get old and you're going to be like, crap, I forgot to have a retirement plan. What am I going to do? I can't keep working forever like this, right? So I encourage you to get a coach. Obviously, I would love it to be me. But in all honesty, no matter what you do, get a coach. Get you someone that can keep you going, someone that can be a partner in your business. All right, guys, believe it or not, it's already time for our first break. So I'm going to cue the music, and then what we're going to do is take a quick break, short break, guys. Stick with me, because when we get back, we've got the owner of Gardenlight LED, Reto Mueller, in the house. So stick around and we'll be right back.
I just couldn't believe. Now you walking around the block.
Hey, landscape pros, are you tired of digging through rocks and roots and breaking shovels in the process? Then it's time you checked out the Geo Ripper 616. It's a landscaper's dream with the Makita 6 Series 2-cycle engine producing over 4 horsepower of raw performance. The 616 digs deep in up to 16 inches of the toughest soils. Lighting, landscape, and irrigation contractors already love this improved lightweight trencher with its ability to get in and get out faster, easier, and with less ground disturbance. And and you will too. This redesigned Geo Ripper 616 comes with 2 heavy-duty digging chains and a whole mess of helpful extras. To learn more about the Geo Ripper and how it can help you out in the field, visit georipper.com today.
Do you hear that? It's quiet. No sounds of anger, attempts to throw a phone or computer out the window, or annoyance trying to change your business to make it fit into a software program. Crew Control just works. It's easy to do your scheduling. You can be up and running in less than a day. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. Give it a try for yourself with our 2-week free trial. crewcontrol.com. That's crewcontrol.com.
Hey everybody, this is Hecubus from the Nightcap. I'm just sitting here relaxing within the vault with my friends and a tasty, tasty pint. You should stop by and listen in sometime. I'm here every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, live only on Turf's Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
If I can get this audio to work. Welcome back to Lighting for Profits here on Turf's Up Radio 516. You know what that means? It's time for my guest of the week. Let me see if I can get him queued up here. What's going on, Mr. Reto Mueller?
Good. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on, man.
Quite a prank you played on your brother there, huh?
What do you think?
Not very professional.
It's definitely not very professional. So
maybe not for him, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know, business is going to go downhill now. But I mean, she handled it like a pro, don't you think? She did a
good job. Very good.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun pranking people. It's fun just doing stuff that you probably shouldn't do.
You could have got a little bit more aggressive with her.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I know. You're right. You're totally right. Because I was like thinking, oh, I don't want to like make someone cry today. But she did so good that next time I'm gonna have to lay it on thick.
Well, thank God you're not prank calling me. So, let's get to it. What do you got going on?
Well, I broadcasted. I said, hey, if anyone wants me to prank your company, and I got a few people with Gardenlight LED email addresses saying, yeah, come prank us. So I'll have to see about that.
Good.
So listen, I'm excited to have you on, man. I mean, you're one of the most generous people I know, just all the way around. You're always trying to build people up. You're trying to share your knowledge. You're trying to help people. And I think it comes from a place where you're like, where you either had help or you didn't have help, and you're trying to be that guy that could help your past self. And that's how I feel. I feel like, man, everything I'm doing, if I could find myself 10 years ago and give you this message, this is what it would be, right? So one thing that I really admire about you is that you really have done a really good job creating your own ecosystem. And what I mean by that is you're always constantly selling the benefits of LED lighting, and you're bringing people into the lighting world. I mean, if we go out to dinner, I've been in Tampa before, we go out to dinner and you're selling the general manager lights for the restaurant, right? So where does that come from?
It's just I have a desire to go ahead and, sell the product. I think when you're in front of people, you want to go ahead and just make a deal.
Yeah. But, most of us aren't doing that. We're just like, oh, I'm going to go out to dinner. So how do we get that same fire underneath us?
Well, I don't know if it's a fire, it's a discipline. Every person you talk to, I learned at a young age when I worked at a ceiling fan company, every person you talk to, give them your business card, tell them what you do. Chances are you might get business from them.
That's awesome. I just had our weekly coaching call with the students in Landscape Lighting Secrets, and we're talking about hiring. And I was like, kind of sending the same message of like, you'll always be hiring. I mean, you can broadcast that to your clients, to people at restaurants, and you never know. Your server that's serving you food might be your next installer, might be your next salesperson. And so it's the same thing. Like you've always got to be advertising yourself and what your services are.
Absolutely. When you're out and having dinner someplace, look at the waiter and waitress, see if they would fit in your company and come work for you as a salesperson. Talk to the hostess, see if she would answer phones for you, or he, or there's always an opportunity in every person that you meet.
Yeah, I love that. And that's something I've really learned from you, and just by seeing it in action. It's not like that's one of your things that you teach. It's just I've been around you and I've experienced that. So I'd really admire that. How about when you you've probably brought in several dozen landscape lighting companies and helped them start and stuff like that. Where does that start from? Are these people that you just knew, or they
it varies. One was in my church group about 15 years ago, and he lost his job as an engineer, and he was devastated. And I says, well, don't worry about it. I can help you do landscape lighting. I can't do landscape lighting. I said, I'll teach you. So we started teaching him and all that, and he's got a pretty successful business today. He makes a lot more money than he did as an engineer. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And honestly, when I saw you doing that, I was like, okay, how can I learn from that? I took that back to Texas, and I was like, okay, like, if you bring someone in the lighting business and you mentor them and you educate them, they're going to buy more product. It's going to help your business. So you're doing two things at once. You're helping people and you're helping your business, which helps your employees and your suppliers and everyone else. So, that's what I did. I went back to Texas and I was like, man, I'm going to go see who I can help. And so I would help landscapers and pool builders and all these people try to grow their business. And as they did, they would refer us, and it grew our business.
That's how it works. That's how it works. One person at a time, one customer at a time. Like a lot of companies out there that are really selling on the internet and taking the business from the designers, installers. We don't want to go down that road. We want to stay in the swim lane of helping people make a living. Why take the business away from them? Why don't we empower them? And that's what you're doing. That's what I like about you. You're empowering people to get to the next level.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, you're a big inspiration for me to do that, because you were someone that helped me do that. And it was like, for the first 5-6 years of my business, I was just in business. I don't even know why. I was just in business. I wanted to make money, but I didn't really ever think it was like I needed someone to give me permission that, it's okay to grow. It's okay to hire a salesperson. It's okay to replace yourself. It's okay to do these things. And then it was like, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. So thank you for that.
The thing that I saw in you and that I like is you're a man of excellence. And I have a lot of dealers out there that have become the men of excellence. And a few of them I've already gotten that have been men of excellence. And these guys, their business growth and what they do in their business is amazing. And the reason it's so amazing is because they want to excel in their business. They don't want to make a few dollars, go out and buy a Ferrari, hit the bars and have a bunch of drinks and everything. When you're younger, that might be the idea. But the truth of the matter is when you really go out there and really build your business and you build your brand and you get to the next level. And we've talked about this many times about how to make your business better, how to satisfy the customer better, how to work with the customer better, how to give them more options, and how to make more money in your business. All of my competitors, what they do? They tell you, well, this is product is at this price, this is at this price, and here you go, here's some product. They don't teach you the fundamentals of building the person, and it starts within you. I'm very blessed. I've had a mentor. His name's William Anton, and he's a professor of psychology. He was the head professor of psychology at USF at the age of 27. And he became the head psychologist between all the psychiatrists and psychologists. And imagine yourself as the head guy at the age of 27 and all these guys working for you that, have worked circles. They know their psychology better than you do. And you're their boss all of a sudden. So what I've learned from him through the years, I just share with you. And I share that with other people I do business with. He's got an incredible book out there. It's called Business Success Through Self-Knowledge. It's a little 100-page book to read. It's pretty intense to read it, but it really starts with who you are as a person and within you. What is the quality of what you want to build in life, and what do you really want to do in life? We all have it within ourselves to strive for excellence, but we all have a shortcoming, and that's called ourselves.
Right. Yeah, we get in our own way.
And that's
right. I started the show with the prank, but then after that I talked about having a coach, having a mentor. And that's one thing I also love about you is one time I was in Tampa and you let me, I don't know if you remember this, you took me and you let me hijack one of your meetings with Bill. And I got to kind of have my own session with him. And it was really cool. You're like, go ahead. Ask them whatever question you want. Tell them what's your biggest problem in business right now. And we were only there for like an hour or something, but just talk about clarity and breakthrough and all that stuff. So I think a lot of people don't know this, but the successful people out there, they have a support system. They know that they can't figure it out on their own. They hire coaches, they hire mentors. They have this because they know that the bigger the community, the more input you're going to have and more feedback. So that's really, really cool. I like that.
Well,
go ahead.
No, after you.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Like the first time I met you, I don't think I've met anyone that's bigger on self-awareness, self-education, bettering yourself, emotional intelligence, all those things. I mean, those are really, really important to you. Why are those so important for you, and why should they be important for the rest of us in business trying to get to the next level?
Well, one of the things is interesting. You went to college, you were an MBA, and you really did the college route. I did not. I got out of high school and I started working at a ceiling fan store, and I learned the school of hard knocks. I ended up having 10 ceiling fan stores by the time I was 23, made my first $1 million. And
at 23?
At 23, and that was a bad situation, because when you're have that kind of money at 23, the party's on. And it took me a few years to crash the party. And after I crashed the business that I built from going out and having some wild times, I accidentally got into the landscape lighting business. And it's pretty interesting. Doors that closed, a lot of companies on the market, one major company, I can't mention their name, but they really pushed closing the door in my market area. And when they did that, I was a buyer from them. I bought products from them, and they shut the door on me, and I was pretty devastated. So I accidentally got into landscape lighting. After a few years, they realized I'm not buying product from them anymore. Now I'm a competitor of theirs, and they were just blown away. And it's kind of interesting that I was able to work with MDL through the number of years and built quite a substantial business. They were a backbone of my business. Special senior from MDL. He was quite a mentor in my life to get my business going.
I think it's really cool. And I think if people are listening or watching, you can either go get an MBA and be poor like me, or you can just skip through it all and become a millionaire when you're 23 and go live the life and become successful like Reto.
Honestly, I wish I went to school. So I spend a lot of time reading books now, and I like to do a lot of books. And the guys that I mentor, I recommend books. I believe I just recommended one to you a few days ago, didn't I? It's called The Art of War, or The War of Art.
The War of Art.
The War of Art.
Yeah.
And just, this is really a self-discipline type of book. It's only a 2-hour book, but you can really get the thoughts in your mind of what you should be doing, that you kind of talk yourself out of on a constant basis.
You and I share similar beliefs in God and everything else. And the timing of you referring that book to me could not have been better, because there's these internal demons that I'm facing right now. And in that book, he talks about the resistance. Well, the resistance is super strong with me right now in certain areas and talking me out of certain things that I know I should be doing. So it was not coincidence that you referred me that book this last.
It's interesting. When our show started, I wrote something down because I was thinking as you're talking, we kind of talked about something, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a challenge. And this is a challenge.
Hey, this is live, so I can't edit this out, just so you know.
So that's good. So the challenge is, it's not going to be a challenge like when we're in the ski resort there where you had to build the app and put it on your head. No, we're not going to do that. But the challenge is this. You are a great business person. I'd like to see you build that $1 million business in 12 months in your city to show all your listeners and viewers how you can build a business and do hands-on, and bring these people in to educate them and teach them hands-on this business.
Okay. So
I'm not saying that you should run the business full time. I'm saying you have people that fall into place to run this business, but you are the mastermind to get this going. Because when you show them from scratch that I can do this business and skyrocket this business and do it in a year's time, that means that your listeners will take more in and become part of that team. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. So all I heard was you're going to give me $1 million and I'll start a lighting company.
Yeah.
In 12 months.
Monopoly money.
Okay. So
you have to turn it to real money.
Listen, the challenge, like I told you, this is live. So this is part of the game, I guess. When I do live shows, I could put you on the spot. You can put me on the spot. I'm not going to accept that challenge today, but I'm going to give it some thought because that would actually be a really cool experiment. You know, here I am in my program going, hey guys, all you got to do is this, this, and this. So let me just put my money where my mouth is and start a local business here. Like I said, I won't run it because
I'll help you. I'll help you with it. I mean, that's the kind of person I am. I will help you get it to the level to get this kick started, to help all your listeners, all the guys that you mentor to get to the next level.
I like it, man. I mean, that's not quite a yes yet, but let's just say this. I like it. Good. Okay. So listen, are you going to stick around? Because I want to ask you, I got so many more questions. We might stick around for like 3 hours. You got 3 hours? I got 3 hours.
4, 5.
No, just stick around for a little bit because I want to ask you a little bit more about Gardenlight and some of the things you guys are working on and stuff like that. But you got some time?
I sure do.
All right, stick around.
How long is this? Are we taking a break or what's?
Yeah, take a 2-minute break and then we'll come back on. Is that cool?
You got it.
All right, thanks, Reto.
Okay.
Oh, he just left.
Hey, everybody. It's Brooke Ford, host of The Green Veteran here on Turfs Up Radio. Be sure to check me out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. You're going to hear some great one-on-one interviews with green industry professionals. We're going to talk about best business practices, highlight innovative products, and also provide some insight into some new emerging technologies in the field. That's The Green Veteran, airing each Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Given assignment, I just got one thing to ask. Can you dig it? I can dig it. You can dig it. She can dig it. We can dig it. They can dig it. Can you dig it? You can call when you get a chance. 617-992-4793. I can dig it. Sit back.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, do you know what time it is? That's right, it's time for Turfs Up Radio. Now you can catch us streaming live 24/7 with pro talk, pro tips, and pro interviews. Simply visit turfsupradio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Lighting for Profits. We've lost our guest. He's missing in action. It's Ryan Lee, host of Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio. It's 5:33 p.m. Eastern. And gosh, I'm enjoying this interview. I hope he comes back because I've got like so many more questions for him. And honestly, I know he doesn't like doing this. So I'm just grateful that we got the time. Oh, there he is. I know he doesn't like doing it. So it's like, if we got him, we got one chance to ask him these questions. So
what kind of, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay.
I just, Lindsay came in a little bit too late. She was trying to come say hi to you, but by then you were on.
I saw her.
All right.
See her.
So thanks for being on here, man. I know that, like big groups and stuff like that is not your thing. And so in small audience, like that's where you thrive. So I'm really grateful because I know that normally you probably wouldn't do this if I didn't pay you, large sums of cash. So check with your office. It's under your desk, just a duffel bag of cash.
Oh.
But thanks so much for being on. I want to ask you a little bit about Gardenlight. I got this shirt right here, American Entrepreneur, Gardenlight LED. I got this at a dealer congress that was, last year was crappy because we couldn't meet up and do all that, but it was like the year before, something like that. And I love what you guys do at the dealer congress because unlike really any conference I've ever been to, you guys really just focus your efforts on training and education. And it's really not about selling Gardenlight, and actually Taylor, he still works at Majestic Outdoor Lighting. He's been super successful there. One of our sales guys, or I say our, but I sold the business. It's not me, but he went there and he went for his very first time, like right after he got hired, and he came back just glowing. He's like, oh my gosh, that Gardenlight is something else. And that was one of the things he mentioned specifically that he liked the fact that it wasn't like, here's our product and here this and this. It was just like, here, let us help you be a better person, be a better business person. And that is awesome. So I like what you guys are doing there.
I have to take my hat off because I don't do any of that stuff. Michelle's the one that really drives this dealer congress and puts it together. And she puts her heart and soul into this. She's very, very good in doing parties, I think.
You're absolutely right. She seriously knocks it out of the park. And that's what I'm talking about. Like even at those like dealer conferences, you're like, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be the guy. And so that's why I'm grateful for this. But she's done such a great job with that. And I think that just kind of is part of your brand. Like, again, that's what you guys are about. You're about building other people up. And one of your sayings, it's about watering others. By watering others, you water yourself, right?
So our company motto is, by watering others, we water ourselves. And what that means, it comes out of Proverbs, and it means by helping others to get where they need to be, we're also taking care of ourselves. That's what life is about. When you have a tough day and you're doing everything for you, and you change and you go do something for the other person, you're not concerned about what's going on with you anymore. You're concerned with helping the other person.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that's a beautiful thing to do.
So let's talk a little bit about Gardenlight. Again, I know that you're just one of those guys that doesn't like talking about himself, and you're not ever going to like self-promote, and even with your business. But I really we've got an opportunity here, and my life has been blessed by knowing you and buying Gardenlight and stuff like that. So I feel like we need to do that. So what differentiates you against all the other there's so many different manufacturers out there. Why should someone consider Gardenlight?
I think at Gardenlight, when you become a dealer, you become part of the family, and we bring you in as a team member. You're part of Gardenlight, and that helps us help you get to the next level. There's like that story. You can give a man fish, or you can teach him to fish for a lifetime, and that's what we try to do. Is we try to teach people how to fish for a lifetime. We've been very blessed with the people that come through the door and the people that we do business with and everything. And you've been doing this show for a while, and some of our dealers and the numbers they do are staggering. And you've seen this firsthand. I've seen guys out there from other companies that don't sell Gardenlight, and they specialize in landscape lighting. And I talk with them and I find out the numbers they're doing. I said, give me a chance. Let me show you how to do this business. And by the time I do a couple deals with them and teach them how to do it, their business skyrockets. But I only like to do it with people that are sincere. Where where they really want to get ahead and really accomplish something and build this for their family. I'll give you a story. I've never really fired any customers, but I had to fire my first customer about 15 years ago, maybe longer. But this guy, I was mentoring the guy, and the business took off like crazy. They showed up a year later up to Gardenlight and everything. They're both driving black dualies, all logoed out. The shirt's been buttoned down to their chest, basically to their belly button, with all these gold chain Rolex watches and everything. And, I said to him, I says, how you doing, man? He goes, oh, man, we're doing great. Everything's fantastic. I go, how's your wife? How the kids? Oh, well, I don't live there anymore. And I was just stunned, because to me, it's all about family and helping these dealers build their family and their family life so they have nice things for the wives, the kids, and everything else. And that's helping build that person. And this guy then started going to the area that I had for another dealer, and they started advertising, and this guy was just all over the place. And he was my biggest customer at the time, and I called him. I says, I can't sell you anymore. He says, what do you mean you can't sell me anymore? I says, well, I'm cutting you off because we're not being true to what we honored to each other, and you broke the rules. And that was it.
Yeah.
He's still doing a little bit of business, but his business, he hasn't been able to grow now.
And I think with you guys, you're kind of like this boutique manufacturer. It's not a numbers game for you where it's like, man, if we could just get everybody to buy Gardenlight, you really are selective in who you work with. So
we are very selective.
I think it's totally respectable.
But we look for people that are also selective who they work with, because when I met you, you were buying from several different companies. And I came to you and I says, let's do a challenge, like I'm challenging on this one here, right?
$1 million.
I said, you told me that you cannot sell this product in your market because the people in Dallas, Texas will not spend that kind of money. That's what I recall. And I says, well, let's just try a few customers. And I taught you how to do the presentation, how to do the sale and everything. And I think 90% of all the product now is sold by Majestic Lighting is the expensive product.
It is. Yep. That's a true story. We were there and it was like, hey, instead, every time we go to Gardenlight, we'd get something that was different than what we thought. Like the first time I went out there, I thought you were going to have the sales pitch and do the tour. And, we'd been on all the manufacturers tours. And instead it was like, you sit down in the conference room and you're like, so tell me about your business. What's your sales approach look like? What's your price? It was like, who you asking me questions for? I'm supposed to be interviewing you, and it was cool. It was like totally unexpected. And same thing later on, fast forward to when was that? Maybe 5 years ago, where you're introducing your new expensive product. And I'm like, good luck. And you're like, no, just try it, And that's what we did. And we raised our price. And it took us from, instead of the feeding frenzy of everyone fighting in that red ocean and fighting for that same customer and having the same sales pitch with the same product and everything else, we just were like, oh, we're going to be over here. We're going to be over here in our own blue ocean where we don't really even have competition. We can charge what we want and do what we want. And that was instrumental. So that was freaking awesome. One of the guys that joined my program recently, he told me this. This is a true story. I don't think I told you this. He was looking in the different Facebook groups, and he kept noticing everybody who would post these pictures. Like in some of these groups, people just post pictures, like check out my project, whatever. And then he would ask, people would say, oh, what product did you use? All the pictures that he liked were people that had used Gardenlight product. Can you believe that? I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So something is going on magical with the product and the design and everything else where people are taking notice. So I like that.
Well, it's probably because we see the light.
So probably one of my last questions I want to ask you, and then we'll let you go. I know you're a busy man and you're a family guy too. You got 4 kids. I thought I was the only one crazy enough to have 4 kids, but I meet you. I'm like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And so big time family man. And with a company your size though, you could have easily stepped down years ago, right? Let someone else run it. Why are you still involved in the day-to-day?
The challenge of a business is to make it even run better and smoother and really get that flow going. And it takes time to get that going. You can't just put people in place. You got to train them. You got to teach them. You got to build that whole union with your employees. And that's what I'm after. So really, do I need to be here? No, I don't need to be here. Sometimes we've gone on vacations 2.5, 3 months and everything runs fine. But we're also in a difficult time right now where we're, getting product, a hold of product right now is hard to come by. I don't know if you've heard what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, raw materials are scarce. I mean, in any industry.
The prices are skyrocketing. So, we have to make good decisions at Garden Light so we can keep our products running smoothly and having the parts to run everything.
Yeah, and I think what you just said spoke to me is what you told me I'm good at is seeking excellence, and that's what you're doing. I mean, you've got a great company, but that doesn't mean it can't get better. And hopefully listeners and viewers and everything understand that we're as good as we are, we can always get better, and it takes to have that humble attitude to want to keep getting better and have that grind. And you've got it, obviously, because that's why you're there. That's why you're here. You're staying late to speak with me. So thank you for that. Do you have any final advice that you want to leave our listeners with?
Well, I think, here's the thing. If you really want to get into the landscape lighting and they're working with you, Ryan, I'll open myself up to answer any questions they want, or they can contact me and they can come down here and visit me and spend a day with me, whatever they'd like. Because I want to support you and what you're doing. I really believe what you're doing is a great thing. Because you're teaching guys how to make a better business opportunity for themselves and their families.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And that's, I mean, when I first welcomed you on, I said you were one of the most generous guys I've ever met. And I don't say that about really anybody. So super generous, and he's serious. So if you guys want to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, shoot me an email, support@RyanLeeCoaching, or, message me on Facebook, whatever. And he is available. It's crazy that this guy right here, super successful, could be doing whatever he wants in his life right now, is like, yeah, I'll talk to him, I'll help you out. And he really is a generous guy. And that's because you live by your own words of by watering others, we water ourselves. So I love it, man.
I mean, it's embedded in my heart, It's been interesting. It's been an interesting ride.
So how does someone find out more? It's GardenlightLED.com, right?
Yes, GardenlightLED.com, and also Americana LED. I think it's Americana Outdoor Lighting, which is another company which is more of the drop-in market.
Yeah, AmericanaOutdoorLighting.com.
Yeah, but Gardenlight LED is for the really serious landscape lighting designers.
Well, yeah, and you got a national sales manager, which I know, Bruce. So if anyone reaches out to me, you want to get more information, I can hook you up directly with Reto. I can get you involved with one of the reps. I mean, I couldn't say enough good things about your company. It's had a huge impact on my life, on my business, and my success. So I want to personally thank you for that. And I want to thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time. And now the time is yours. You can go do whatever you want now.
I appreciate you. I'm going to watch the rest of your show.
Hey, sweet. I'm glad you're doing it. You're helping my ratings.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for, like I said, being my guest. And I'm going to go ahead and let you go here. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to end. You know what? We forgot. I was going to try to I wanted to invent more time because I wanted to do some like Dumb and Dumber clips with you and stuff like that. But we didn't have time.
How about the app that you're inventing to learn any language in 15 minutes?
See,
that's the best one. Yeah.
That is a good one, but that means we got to have you back on because we got more stories.
We might have to do that another time.
Yes. All right.
For the prank app.
Your duties are relieved. You can hang out. You can stick around, but the hard part's done for you. I got about 10 more minutes or so. When we come back after this break, guys, I'm going to go over my lighting tip of the week, and you're not going to want to miss it because every week I'm trying to add as much value as I can to your life and to your business. So stick around.
Attention all veterans. Have you heard about Turfs Up Radio's Jobs for Vets program? If you are looking for a job and you're interested in working in the landscape and snow removal profession, there just might be a company in your local area that is looking to hire. All you have to do is send us your resume at jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. That's jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey, this is Jeff Hester, senior contributor and co-host of the Weekend Review here on Turfs Up Radio. Can't make it to major green industry events, but want to stay connected? Don't worry, we have you covered. Be sure to download the Turfs Up Radio app or visit our website. We'll bring you the live coverage you need to keep you up to date with everything that happens in our industry. And to find out where we'll be next, simply visit greenindustryevents.com. That's greenindustryevents.com. And always remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Yeah.
Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Weekend Review.
The Weekend Review. The Weekend Review.
With all of your favorite Turfs Up Radio hosts, including Hecubus, Jose Roland Daniel, I'll pump you up Rolls.
You are.
The Wise Guy, Steve Cohen.
He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
The Green Veteran.
Giddy up.
Holly, Let's Get Physical Bowls. Wayne the Prophet Bowls, and many more. Join us live as we unpack the week and share what you may have missed live on Turfs Up Radio. That's the Weekend Review, Saturdays at 9 to 10 a.m. right here on Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Guys, one of these days I'm going to figure out how to learn to use a microphone. Oh, man. That's the beautiful thing about doing live. I don't think I've had 1 week where I didn't mess up. Welcome back to Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio. Guys, that was so fun. Oh, man. I am super grateful for the time that Reto Mueller of Gardenlight LED took with us, because honestly, I just know that is not his, he didn't wake up today going, man, I would love to be on a live show with Ryan Lee today. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate you doing that. And guys, if you have never purchased Gardenlight, you don't know Reto, make sure to connect with me. I will make the introduction, because that man is onto something great. He's influenced a lot of people to do a lot of great things. So thank you. I'm just grateful that I'm in a position now in my life where I get to do this stuff. Like, this is so fun. And my wife and I were talking about that today. I asked her, I said, hey, if you, if money wasn't an issue and time wasn't an issue, like, let's say we didn't have kids, our kids were grown up and gone, what would you want to do? She wants to be a farmer. She wants to be a farmer and teach dance. So that's cool. I mean, that's her thing. It's not mine. I don't want to be a farmer, teach dance, but I'll go visit the farm. I'll go visit the dance studio. And then she asked me, what would you do? And I was like, that's a good question. I would actually do what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm having a blast. This is what I would do if I had to do it, and I'm doing it. So it's just a cool opportunity. And I'm looking forward to just helping transform the green industry, helping grow landscape lighting as a whole. Most people still don't know what landscape lighting is. They really don't. And so there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of growth to happen. And I'm just grateful that I somehow ended up in this position, somehow ended this spot. And every week I'm going to try to have a new guest on that's laying down their knowledge, their life experiences, and what they're pros in, what they're good in. So before we end the show, I want to just end with my lighting tip of the week. And by the way, I do need to mention, if you're joining in now and you missed the beginning, you got to go and download the podcast. And I'll be uploading it later tonight. I don't know when it comes out. It probably depends on if you subscribe or not. So subscribe, because you always get earlier access. But you got to listen to the first part of the show as well, because I did a prank call on my old company, my brother's company, Majestic Outdoor Lighting, and it was hilarious. It was a lot of fun. So if you liked it and you think it would be good to prank call your company, let me know. Or if you don't want to prank call your company, but you want to prank call a friend's company, hook me up. Send me an email, support@ryanleecoaching.com, and we will do that. It's called Prank a Business. I don't even know what it's such a new segment. I don't even know what it's called. What did I call it? I think it was business prank calls. So I think I'll have my kids help me with an intro for that. But I want to end, before we end the show today, with my lighting tip of the week. As you guys know, I always end the show with some type of tip that you can leave. You can have something, some action item to go work on. And one thing I want to talk about is confidence. And, some people have confidence, but sometimes it's just in the wrong area. Like, I've noticed in the lighting industry, some people are like really, really confident that like they are the best installer or they are the best designer, which is great. Like, you got to have confidence. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you got to have confidence in selling. Okay. Confidence is key when selling. And unfortunately, for some reason, the word salesman has such a negative connotation with so many people. When you say sales, they think of a used car salesman, which I don't know why. I don't know. There was some used car sales guy years ago in the 1800s, hundreds, whatever, that started selling cars used, and he was a jerk or something. I don't know. But people hate used car salesmen. New car salesmen are okay, but I don't know. But you've got to be good at sales. You've got to be good at marketing, because just because you are confident that you are the best designer, the best installer, the best company, that doesn't mean that translates into your sales. So you need to make sure that you are confident. Okay. You need to be confident in your appearance. You need to have that self-love. You need to have self-love. You have to be confident in yourself. You have to know that they need lighting. These clients you're meeting, they need lighting. They need lighting from you, and they need lighting from you today. Those three things, you've got to have that confidence, because if not, you're going to be okay with them going, well, you know what? We got to think about it. We got to talk about it. We've got other bids coming up. And I've been there, guys. I used to be Mr. Nice Guy. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. Take your time. No, it's a waste of time. Like, why'd you even meet with them in the first place? Because they're going to be sold by someone who's better at sales than you. And it's not fair, but it is just what it is. Someone can be a crappier designer, not as good of an installer, terrible customer service, but if they're better at sales, see ya. They're going to get that deal. And so you need to practice. You need to be confident that and you need to be told, and I'm telling you right now, it's okay to be good at sales, because it's not really sales. It's called building trust. It's called being a trusted advisor. It's called being a helper, being a guide. And it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure that they go with you and not with your competition. And you know, because you're confident in yourself, that if they go with your competition, that they're going to have a terrible experience, and they're not going to be happy, and they're going to waste their money. So if you truly care about your client, if you truly love your clients, then you can't let them make a bad decision, which means that you got to be good at sales. You've got to do what it takes to get that deal. These clients, they're relying on you, okay, to make sure that they make the right decision. Do not let them down. Do not let them down. Okay. It's truly up to you. And again, some people are like, no, I'm confident. Like, I'm really good at what I do. I'm the best. I'm the best. That's great. That's great. But you still need to be confident in your salesmanship, because if not, it's not going to translate. You're not going to get that sell. You're not going to be able to close it on the spot. And then somebody who is not as good as you at your trade is going to be better at you than sales, and they're going to meet you and they're going to defeat you. Okay. So almost made it through the show without coughing. But listen, guys, that's how, like, you've got to get in that mindset to be ready to close the deal. You have to. And I know it's not what the world's taught you. The world's taught you that salesmen are evil, everything else. And, you know, why convince it? Like, no, you're not there to convince someone to do something they don't want to do. They called you for a quote for landscape lighting. So help them get what they want. And I'll take it even one step further. Help them get more than what they even thought was possible. Because a lot of times they don't even know what the possibilities are. And I promise you, if you will adopt that mindset and adopt the mindset of, like, you know what? They do want landscape lighting. They do want landscape lighting for me, and they do want landscape lighting for me today. You're going to close every deal. You're going to get it done. And you need that confidence to go into your next sales appointment. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that gives you some confidence and it gives you some perspective, because I promise you guys, there are so many crappy companies out there that just happen to be really good at marketing and sales, and they are smashing it. Okay. And just one example, I mean, if you look at, Samsung and Apple. Okay. I'm an iPhone guy. Do I think iPhone's better than Samsung? Probably not. I've heard way better things about Samsung phones, but who's better at marketing? Who's better at sales? Apple is. And that's why they've got the dominant market share, because they're better at marketing and sales. Doesn't mean that they're that actual better company, right? So hopefully that helps you guys out. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my guest, Reto Mueller, for coming on. I want to thank you guys for your support. And honestly, I really am so grateful, because I would not be here if I did not have your support. So keep listening in. I'll be here every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern on Turfs Up Radio. I'm grateful for Turfs Up Radio and all the listeners out there, because again, if it wasn't for you, I would not be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's a wrap, guys. So we're gonna finish up the show today with my excellent music that I had made for the show. And then don't forget to stick around. I've got a live webinar I'm doing tomorrow with Ryan Jaso. That'll be here live on Turfs Up Radio at, shoot me an email if you want to register. But it's actually going to be at 2 o'clock Eastern. If you can't register, then just download the Turfs Up Radio app and listen here live. Then you don't even have to register. But we're going to be talking about branding and dropping some knowledge there. So, guys, thanks so much for your support. You guys have an awesome week. We'll see you later. See you next Tuesday.